With the popularity of Shiba Inu skyrocketing, this has led many people to get into the world of cryptocurrency for the very first time. The Shiba Inu coin has excelled exceptionally well at bringing in a younger generation into a new world of investing. But with that, a lot of people can be left with unanswered questions. So whether you're a complete beginner or a seasoned trader, I hope there's something to be learned in this video either way, because this is the guide to cryptocurrency. So what is cryptocurrency? To answer that, we first have to look at what currency is in general. Currency is just a medium to collectively agree upon the value of something. Our civilization has evolved past trading bushels of wheat or shells with our neighbors to building and selling instantaneously across the globe. We are no longer a society struggling to build infrastructures, but a society that has the ability to travel to space and have the world's cumulative knowledge at our fingertips. However, we are still essentially using an outdated currency. There is no significant difference between the dollar and the coins used in Mesopotamia over 5,000 years ago. There's countless big banks, foreign and domestic governments, and millions of middlemen that ultimately make up an incredibly inefficient system. Our current centralized financial system can lead to so many detrimental issues. When we look at places like Venezuela, Zimbabwe, Sudan, and Argentina, these countries are in economic ruin due to hyperinflation. And this is a result of a centralized financial system. Their currency depends on the financial decisions and stability of the country. And when a government issues too much money, people's livelihoods and wealth are destroyed in the process. So a centralized currency, when in the wrong hands, can have devastating effects on your financial situation. So what does a decentralized currency look like? Cryptocurrency isn't anything you can actually see or hold, but a form of money that exists entirely online. That may be hard to conceptualize for some people, but realistically, today we're already participating in an almost entirely electronic economy. Fewer and fewer people carry cash, and most purchases are done electronically with a debit or credit card. But this form of an online economy is still a centralized system of banking. Cryptocurrencies aren't centralized, they're decentralized. This means that no one person has the ability to control the currency. Cryptocurrencies aren't bound by a national border or central bank. So with no central authority, who's keeping track of who's spending what? Cryptocurrencies rely on something called the blockchain. This word gets thrown out a lot and is often associated with Bitcoin. The blockchain is not Bitcoin or any type of cryptocurrency at all. The blockchain is a secure global ledger where every single crypto transaction is recorded. Anytime you transfer Bitcoin or any other type of cryptocurrency, that transfer is recorded as a block. These blocks contain all sorts of information about a transaction: who's sending the money, who's receiving it, and how much is being sent. So with so many transactions, we are left with a ton of blocks of information. A blockchain. But there's not just one blockchain, there's thousands. Most cryptocurrencies have their own unique blockchain or run on a larger group blockchain. The blockchain itself is the central ledger, but there's no one person recording all of this data. Instead, this is done by millions of people volunteering to keep this global record of crypto transactions. But who are these millions of volunteers? Are they just keeping up with billions of transactions all across the world for fun? You may have heard of mining, and that's exactly what this is. People with huge setups of thousands of computers, or just people using their home setup, are offering up their computer's processing power to document these transactions and make up the blockchain. In return, they're given a small amount of cryptocurrency for the blockchain they're maintaining as compensation. Similar to how if you were to make a purchase with a credit card, the store would check your bank's records. This is the same for cryptocurrency. For a transaction to go through, it would check the global ledger, a culmination of millions of independent records, to see if you have enough of a crypto for the transaction. Your bank only has one record, so it's much more likely for a mistake to occur. With cryptocurrencies, these kinds of errors are almost impossible. Let's say I wanted to scam the system. Let's say I wanted to fraudulently pay myself 100 Bitcoin. In order to do this, I would need to tamper with not just one computer, but the majority of computers maintaining the blockchain. So I would have to forge information on millions of computers all around the world, all at once. If that sounded too easy, there's more. Every block of transactions in the blockchain has its own unique hash. This is a long string of digits that represents the data inside of the block, kind of like an ID number. If anything in that block changes, its ID number or hash would change as well. So if I was going to steal 100 Bitcoin, changing the payment from 0 Bitcoins to 100 Bitcoins would change the hash. Every block not only has the hash of its own block, but the previous block as well. Since each block includes the ID number of the previous block in the chain, if I tried to tamper with a block, the hash of the current block would also change, and the legitimate hash of the next block wouldn't match. That was a mouthful. So let's think of the blockchain like a train, a block train. Each train car will represent a block in the entire train. Every time there is a transaction using cryptocurrency, a new car gets added to the train. Each train car has its own ID number depending on what's inside of it, or its hash. The train car not only has its own ID number, but the ID number of the car before it as well. The ID number of the previous car that's on the new car has to be the same ID number that's actually on the next train car. If these hash numbers match, perfect. The trains are able to couple together and chug along. But if these numbers don't match, they won't couple up and these cars will be left at the station and treated as illegitimate. So if I wanted to try and rob this train, I would have to keep changing every hash number on every train for it to be successful. But it's not just one train. There are millions of trains because there are millions of copies of these global ledgers being recorded. For this heist to be successful, I would have to change all of the train cars' hash numbers for millions of cars on millions of trains all over the world, all at once. For reference, you could buy stolen credit card numbers on the dark web right now for just about $10 to $15. So how do these digital coins even have value? Well, let's take a look back what currency is again. Currency is just a medium to collectively agree upon the value of something. The dollar or euro itself does not have any intrinsic value. The dollar and euro's value is eccentric. Its value is representative and agreed upon by the people, and this goes the same for cryptocurrency. Right now, the value of a single Bitcoin is currently being priced at around $60,000, and that's crazy to some people. It's just a string of data floating around the ether. Well, the dollar is just paper and the euro is just plastic. It's their agreed upon value that gives them worth. Crypto operates off similar principles of government-backed currencies, but without all the economic fragilities and drawbacks. Crypto has another advantage over traditional government-backed currency: scarcity. Many coins, such as Bitcoin, have a set supply. There are only so many coins, and once they're all allocated, that's it. No more will ever be produced. On the other hand, most fiat currencies increase their total supply every day. 40% of all US dollars circulating right now were printed in the last 12 months. With the current rate of inflation, hyperinflation scenarios such as Zimbabwe or 1920s Germany are at the doorstep of this nation. With most cryptocurrencies having a total set amount, scarcity makes inflation a lot more difficult. And with a limited supply comes more demand. So the price of a cryptocurrency is not only related to the laws of supply and demand, but most importantly, trust. Trust is what gives a coin its real value. If a coin generates more trust, its demand and price will increase accordingly. So how do these coins generate trust? This is a broad question and depends on the type of cryptocurrency. Different coins are born out of the different intentions and problems that they intend to solve. And there are thousands of different coins, each with their own unique properties. Bitcoin, for example, was created in 2009 as an alternative to centralized currency. It generated trust by first inventing the blockchain and mining technology. Many were impressed with the security and transparency that the Bitcoin blockchain had created. It has gained so much support and trust to the point where since 2009, it has grown over 740 billion% and is now the best performing asset ever. This is why Bitcoin has become the face of cryptocurrency. This is also why so many other coins' performances are relative to Bitcoin's success at the time. When Bitcoin is increasing in price, most other coins' prices increase as well. This includes some of the most popular coins, such as Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, and yes, Doge and Shiba Inu, as well as thousands of other coins. These can be considered as utility tokens, and there are certain services only those coins can supply. The more demand for the services a coin supplies, the more trust they generate and the higher the price will go. There is no doubt that crypto is the currency of the future and will absolutely revolutionize the way we think about a real, decentralized global economy. But we're still in the very early stages. Cryptocurrency is no longer some small, obscure pipe dream either. The market cap of all crypto is currently $2.7 trillion, but there's still a long way to come. We're just now beginning to see the adoption of crypto into our society. Companies like AT&T, Microsoft, Tesla, and Home Depot are some of the only major companies to accept Bitcoin. Less than 10 companies on the Fortune 500 list widely accept cryptocurrency. With the flaws of centralized currency becoming more and more prevalent in our society today, the day for mass adoption of cryptocurrency is on the horizon. But that day can only come when information like this allows the public to learn more and more about cryptocurrency and its benefits. A step towards cryptocurrency is a step towards the next safer, efficient, and global financial revolution.